The Boston Red Sox have now just called up Jeter Downs to the MLB roster due to the MLB limiting the pitchers to 13 per team now. Officially, that rule is put in place. And now it gives us a chance to also look at some other things that have involved Jeter Downs, such as the Mookie Betts trade. So we covered Downs being called up, the 13-13 rule, and the Mookie Betts trade, what could have been, and the actual trade. We'll cover all that right here, right now. Cover all that and more on Bleacher Brawls. My name is Derek, and I'm here with Doug. And let's get into it. So obviously, Jeter Downs, he was the Red Sox number 5. He's not Red Sox number 5 prospect on the pipeline. I know Sox prospects has him a lot lower down in the teens. I think he's down at like 18 for them. He has struggled this year in the AAA with the Red Sox. But first things first, throw it over to Doug. It's a big accomplishment for Jeter Downs. Let's just say that, get that out of the way. It's a big accomplishment for him.
Yeah, when people come up and they get their call up, and it's always nice to see your guys that you've been watching for a couple of years through the minors come up and get ready to make an impact to the major league club. Obviously, Downs is going to do that. There's speculation on whether he may not stick around, right? He may not go for a while because we do have a couple guys coming off the IL that we'll talk about in a bit. But regardless, he's going to be with Boston, in Boston, and with a Red Sox uniform on, and he could get into game action tonight. Just whether he does or doesn't stick around right now, he may stick around in the future. So you want to see, it's just like Durant. He had his debut last year, and he's up now. But we don't know his, it's kind of in limbo. We don't know what's going to happen when, all these guys come off the IL. So, but, you at least get a glimpse of what's going to happen moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe he gets in the game, maybe he doesn't. But, for him at the very least, he's a big league player now, and it's a big accomplishment because there are guys who just don't reach the big leagues. And I think the big thing with Downs here is he's struggled in AAA. Yes, he's only hitting like 125 since May 6th. It hasn't been a good year for him. Last year wasn't a good year for him. But he's shown 4 of the 5 tools. He's shown the power, he's shown the run, he's shown the fielding, shown the arm. But the big one that's missing is the hit tool, which you kind of need. And it's unfortunate for him that the hit tool hasn't been there because obviously he could still be a decent player without it, but he's never going to be a very good player without a hit tool. The closest thing to a good player, a very good player without a hit tool, is Joey Gallo. That's the closest you'll get to a very good player without a hit tool. And the Yankees fans don't like Joey Gallo right now. But hopefully, I hope he gets into a game for him. I hope maybe he gets that little boost of confidence just being on the big league team. And maybe when he does get back to AAA, maybe it can kind of bolster his spirits a little bit and get him on a roll. You never know how guys can get on a roll at times. It seems kind of crazy. But yeah. I will go to you though, because real quick, because the Red Sox do have 2 guys that, could shorten Downs' stay because they're going to be coming off the injured list in Arroyo and Kike Hernandez.
Yeah. So, regardless for him, like you said, the little boost of confidence, at least, you're kind of next in the chute to come up, barring an injury to a middle infielder. You're kind of next to come up and stick if someone goes down. So that might be the oomph that he needs to turn it around when he goes back to AAA. And remember that we got Downs, Connor Wong, and Verdugo in the Mookie Betts and not the Mookie Betts salary dump, but the Mookie was the in guy for the Price salary dump. So we're seeing the returns from that. And David Price was a salary dump, hands down. Nobody's going to make an argument with that. It does hurt. It doesn't matter. It hurts to lose Mookie, right? 17 home runs, but he is on the IL right now with a fractured rib. If losing him to the Dodgers hurts the Dodgers, it hurt us losing him, but now we're, Verdugo's been playing every year since we got him, and he's been a staple in left field. and now we'll see if Downs, can make that trade, really worth it. So going back to the people coming off the IL, Arroyo and Kike are probably coming back soon. And we have Ref Snyder up, we have Duran up, and now we have
Jeter Downs up.
Right? So
yes,
we had to bring another hitter up because the 13 and 13 rule. You can have 13 pitchers and 13 batters.
The 13 pitchers, 13 batters. Yeah,
13 pitchers, 13 batters. And so we had to lose the guy we just got.
No. Well, he didn't actually go on the roster. I don't even think I think they're sending down Cutter Crawford because they don't need him until at least the end of the week. That.
So we need another batter. So Kike and Arroyo should be off of the IL sometime soon. Arroyo's on the COVID list, and I think the timetable for Kike is this week.
Yeah, it's this week. Yeah, sometime this week.
Yeah, so we have two outfielders in Ref Snyder and Duran, and they've both been great. I mean, it's hard to choose. Duran had the opening triple the other game, and I wasn't for it, but Ref Snyder, turned, I'm okay with it. As the lineup just came out, Duran, Devers, Martinez, Bogarts, Verdugo, Story, Cordero, Vasquez, and I missed number 9.
Jackie Bradley Jr.
Okay, yeah. So you heard it here first. We will post that graphic on Instagram and Twitter once we're done with this and we make it. So now we are doing these in real time. So one of those two is going to go back down, and you figure that Arroyo is your backup middle infielder guy. So probably Jeter Downs goes when Arroyo comes off the COVID list.
Actually, I think Downs goes even if Kike comes off first, because Kike can play middle infield if you need him to. So Downs is going to have a short stay, but obviously those guys will come back, which is going to be big for Red Sox. I think the biggest thing though, you don't have to stick Arroyo in the outfield anymore. Like,
yes,
I was against that the whole time. Like, hello, like he's on the outfielder. Like, I can handle it like once or twice, but like he's not an outfielder. Like, don't throw him in the outfield a bunch of times. He's just not an outfielder. But he can get back to kind of the bench role and come in late in games and pinch hit situations, and hopefully be productive in that role. That'll be huge for the Red Sox. And then Ref Snyder and Jackie Bradley Jr. can platoon in right field. And obviously Kike slides right back into center. The big question is, where does that leave Duran? Because Duran, he's not going to platoon against lefties with Jackie. So it kind of leaves him in that weird spot. Obviously, that's a whole other video, but that should be mentioned, leaves him in a weird spot. But going back to the Mookie trade, it was Betts and Price for Verdugo, Downs, and Wong, which look, and I mean, you got to understand the situation of the team right now. That team in 2019, after 2019, wasn't really, they're trending down, and they couldn't really afford Betts in the sense of, how much money did you want in your payroll? $250 million? Like, it just wasn't really there. If you look at the team at the time for him and for the Red Sox, it just didn't really make sense because of the deals Dombrowski got them locked into. But you look at that trade and you go, what could have been? Because the original trade didn't include Downs and Wong. The original trade was a 3-team trade, including the Twins, and it was the Dodgers were trading Maeda to the Twins. They were trading, and then they were trading Alex Verdugo to the Red Sox. Then the Red Sox were trading Betts and Price to the Dodgers, and then the Twins were trading Brusdar Gratterall to the Red Sox. That trade ended up not happening because the Red Sox didn't like Gratterall's medical. So it just made, instead of the Red Sox getting Verdugo and Gratterall for Betts and Price, they got Verdugo with Downs and Wong. However, you look back at that and see what Gratterall's done with the Dodgers after they made the Maeda trade, and Gratterall just went to the Dodgers instead of the Red Sox. You look at that trade now and go, what could have been? Because the Red Sox could really use a relief pitcher that's very good right now. And Gratterall's been good out of the bullpen for Dodgers. Now he hasn't pitched in these super high leverage innings of the Dodgers last year. They had Trinan and Jansen, but still the Red Sox could use Gratterall a lot right now considering their bullpen woes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's nice to have a pitcher. It's also nice to have. I mean, it's so hard to say which one would have been better because at least you got a premium catcher's premium position, right?
Yeah.
So you get a prospect that's a catcher, right? And that's always good to have. So it's like, I don't know if I can make an opinion either way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just a fit for the Red Sox right now. Gratterall would be a perfect fit for the Red Sox right now.
Yeah.
Not saying that trade necessarily would have been better, but you look at it and go, ooh, Gratterall would fit perfectly into this Red Sox team, whereas Wong's still stuck behind Vasquez and Plawecki, and Downs is stuck behind Bogarts and Story. And the Red Sox have, guys like Meyer and York coming up behind Downs. So it's that kind of thing where it's, there's nothing wrong with Downs and Wong. It's just the fact that this team needs bullpen help, and Gratterall would fit that perfectly, whereas Wong and Downs aren't necessarily helping the big league team right now because they're blocked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's nothing to do long term. I still think Wong can be a decent catcher for the Red Sox. I still have that faith in Downs that he can turn around, get that hit tool going somewhat, and be a decent MLB player. But I mean, they're still somewhat young. They're not old. They still, yes, time's running out in a sense, but also like they're not 30. They're still in their early to mid 20s, more mid 20s. So there's still time for them to develop. And Wong has looked good when he's been with the Red Sox so far. And it looks like next year Wong will probably be a backup catcher for the Red Sox.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. Could have had something, but you know what? You're still okay with what you got. And Verdugo has been a core piece of this Red Sox team. Just outside that, Bogarts, Devers, kind of Martinez group. Verdugo's in that next second group right behind them for position players. So that's been big for the Red Sox to get him. And obviously, Jeter Downs, once again, hopefully making his MLB debut, but at the very least, he will be on the MLB roster for the first time. That's good for him. And Red Sox fans can now brag to the Yankees fans to get the best Jeter in MLB history.
Yeah, hopefully.
I hope so. I hope so. Any final thoughts, Doug?
Yeah, so just one final thought is when Ariuz was DFA'd for a roster spot for Ref Snyder, we would probably think that Ariuz would be getting the call up now instead of him. So that's just an interesting, little tidbit of, Ariuz obviously claimed by the Orioles, so he's no longer with the Red Sox team. I'm okay with it because I was never big on Ariuz anyway. I know he was,
It's good depth.
Yeah, it was depth, but he never struck me as that guy who was going to be the long-term answer or even like the next Brock Holt type. So yeah. I'm very okay with it. And Ref Snyder's been doing great.
Exactly.
Ref Snyder's been playing great defense. He's been getting clutch hits. I'll eat my own words. I had a bad take. I didn't understand why he was up there, but I'll concede that I was wrong with that. And I'm okay with Ref Snyder being on the team now. So obviously I'm super high on Duran. If you've known me, seen my videos, listened to me rant about that before, but I'm okay with it. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Ref Snyder's been good. That's the one thing that matters. And that's the same thing. If I take, I don't think this player is going to be plays good for the Red Sox. I do not care at all. I just want him to play well. So hopefully, So hopefully,
and as long as the Red Sox are winning.
Exactly. At the end of the day, I could not care, regardless, as long as the Red Sox win. And hopefully, Downs he can get in the game and find himself and give a little bit of production to the Red Sox, give the Red Sox a little boost. You never know what you can get from a guy coming up from the minors. But that's going to wrap this one up. Thanks for tuning into the Jeter Downs being called a video, plus a little look back at the Mookie Betts trade, plus some more stuff as well. Make sure to check out all the links in the description, the podcast, the website, the Instagram, the Twitter, plus all of the crew's Twitters are also down there. Make sure to check out, all our other videos, all our previous game recaps, all of our previous prospect pipeline videos, and all the other videos we've done. For Doug, my name is Derek. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.